Jacqui, the star of the show.
Not really sure I'm the star of the show, but I'm here.
Percent you are. We're here to get your wisdom and knowledge because you've had an incredible journey so far. But yeah, what's your win of the day? Is it today's about to happen?
My win of the day is under 100 kilos.
Yay!
Score!
100
Good
kilos.
on you.
So, yes, been a long, slow journey, but I got there.
Yes. Woohoo.
Told you I wasn't going to let you know until tonight.
Good work. Good work. Oh, that's a good surprise.
Yeah,
Double digits.
I was a bit worried it was going to go the other way, but it did. So, that was good news.
Nice. So, how much in total have you lost, Jacqui?
Since joining double digits,
Yeah,
um, 32 kilos.
32 kilos.
And I lost probably 3 kilos prior to that because I was actually about to do weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
So I had lost a little bit doing that special diet just before weight loss surgery.
Mhm, mhm. And okay, and so all right, that's amazing. That's incredible. So it's 35 kilos gone for your whole journey, right?
Yes.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. So awesome. So like let's take it back to the beginning, right, Jacqui? And let's talk about like where you were like before double digit coaching or your relationship with food. Like let's bring it right back and then we can go over the whole story and the whole journey. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Um, my journey. I had gotten really, really ill. I had an accident at work, which led me to being in hospital for pretty much a year full on.
Wow.
I had um, gangrene in my leg from a workplace accident and required numerous amounts of surgery, which put me on numerous different drugs, which caused me to go from basically 84 kilos to and a very active person to 135 kilos very, very quickly.
Wow.
So it was um, the worst, if you could say that, part of my life.
Mhm.
Um, there were days that certainly the black dog won.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't have been for my husband and the support of my family, I would be honest and say I wouldn't be here now.
Wow. Far out.
So, and there were a couple of times during that time of my illness that my husband was removed from the hospital room and a nurse sat with him while they um, got me stable again because the gangrene was literally poisoning my system. So there were a few times when he wasn't even sure I was going to come home.
Wow. Far
That's how bad it was during that time.
far out.
Once I finally got out of hospital, I was on so many different drugs and I was on immune suppressing drugs. So I couldn't do anything, too
Yeah.
frightened to do anything because there was too much of a risk that if I bruised myself, um, that it could all happen again. And I'd had so many surgeries and nursing staff coming out, painkilling drugs just didn't even touch the side when they had to redo dressings and things. So it was a life of hell, literally for, well, that was 2018 up to about 2020 that
Wow.
was full of surgeries and dressings and hospital visits and everything. I couldn't drive, couldn't do anything. Yeah, and was on so many different medications that I seriously rattled when I walked, and it was costing me hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month just on medications.
Wow.
You know, you don't get a lot of support. They don't care what drugs they put you on, and they don't care if they cost $57 a pop for a
Wow.
month.
Certainly
And when
don't.
you're on 20 or 30 different types, it certainly adds up. So
Yeah.
we were going backwards in our bank balance as well, which was really hitting hard. And I think that's part of the reason I was suffering with so much depression, seeing what it was doing to my family
Yeah.
and the stress it was causing my husband.
Yeah.
Was about to do weight loss surgery in whenever it was, 20. Sorry, I had the accident in 2014. I was
20.
about to have weight loss surgery in 2019
Yeah.
when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So that got put on hold. And then after COVID, we were going to go for it again, which is when I started the weight loss journey.
Mhm.
I had all my health insurance and everything organized. 3 days before I was about to enter hospital, I rang up my health insurance just to make sure it was all still covered. And they said, no, the policy doesn't cover it anymore. It would have back pre-COVID, but didn't this time. And I wasn't wise enough to check that
Yeah.
beforehand. And then all of a sudden thought, oh, I better just check. So I'm lucky I did, because who knows how much more money we would have been out of pocket.
Yeah.
I think that was at my lowest point because I couldn't afford the surgery. And I came across your ad on Facebook and sent you a message, and you contacted me, I don't know, probably within about an hour or 2 hours of me actually responding to you.
Yeah.
And it started from there.
Yeah. Awesome. Far out. Okay. And I guess so. And then, like, tell me about, and that's incredible. I actually didn't know of the extent. I knew you had a lot of injuries, and we talked about it, but we didn't go into that much details. Just makes this so much more amazing, everything that you've had to overcome and far out. So it's incredible. So I guess, like, tell me about the journey and everything that happened through the journey with double digits and everything, because we definitely had a lot of highs, but we also had our challenges as well. So can you tell me, like, a little bit more about that?
Um, I I'm probably not as fixated as what I should have been on my journey. Like medications, everyone that says this could make you drowsy or tired, don't drive. I can assure you every one of those made me tired. So I would spend pretty much most of my days either asleep
Yeah.
or eating and then just going back to sleep.
Yeah.
Um, I was in constant pain, so it made it hard to exercise, to go into calorie deficits. My food choices weren't always the wisest because sometimes you didn't care.
Mm.
Like I should have, and I made better choices having been on DDC,
Yeah.
but probably still didn't make all the right choices when we first started.
Yeah.
I was probably a little bit less committed than some people have been in this group,
Mhm.
in the fact that I've gone gung ho before with diets. As I said, got to 84 kilos, smashed it out, used to get up and go to the gym at 4 o'clock every morning, do a personal training session,
Yeah.
go swimming every day. I mean, I really smashed it, ate perfectly, got down there only to get up to 135 kilos. It was like, well, I'm not doing it that hard this time because, I didn't see anybody because I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning and falling asleep at 9 o'clock at night because
Mhm.
I'd been training all day, and probably not seeing as much of the results that I should have seen for the amount of work and food that I was eating.
Yeah.
So I've listened a lot more to my body
Mm-hmm.
this time round.
Mm-hmm.
I found that every time I thought I was getting better and getting stronger, and I was starting to go for walks, and there was a time I couldn't even walk to my letterbox, which was, I don't know, 300 meters at most, and I couldn't even walk to there without needing a seat at my letterbox before I walked back, because my leg, from literally having no muscles in it from being cut out, was so painful. It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Um, so I would build up and was ecstatic when I reached the 500-meter mark, and then managed to go up the stairs. And we had a 2-story house when I first started this journey. We've sold
Yeah.
it since, because I ended up sleeping on the couch most of my time because I couldn't make it up and down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go out once a week, twice a week actually, for a bathroom and shower,
Mm-hmm.
because all our bathrooms were upstairs.
Yeah.
Or I'd go to my mother-in-law's house because her shower was on the ground floor. So it wasn't the easiest. I think being in a lot of denial about what was going on too didn't help.
Yeah.
I don't think I was 100% ready to accept that I was 135 kilos.
Right. Yeah.
I could see it, and I could certainly feel it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was definitely ashamed of it,
Mm-hmm.
which in hindsight I shouldn't have been. There wasn't anything I could have done about it.
Yeah.
But at that time, yes. So I had lots of little wins, and then I would probably get a little bit cocky maybe and fall back into the odd not exercising or
Mm-hmm.
not being as fully committed. I don't know what's one chocolate here or there,
Mm-hmm.
but one chocolate didn't always end up as one chocolate unless it was like the whole chocolate bar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So I guess like when I guess your approach, I wouldn't say it would be like a lack of commitment, but just your style that you went through this time is like some people suit just going like all in. And then, I've had people come to double digit coaching, they go all in, they lose like a significant amount of weight, and then they leave and then they keep the weight off. I mean, that works for them. I guess for your approach, you wanted to have more of a lifestyle change and make it more like flexible. And instead of going 0 to 100, you just went 0 to 50 and you kind of maintain it, but from going to like 30 to 70, 30 to 70, 50, sometimes 30. It's like you weren't fully like gun ho, but you were never fully like, off the wagon for like a
Oh
long
no, no,
period.
I never went off the wagon. I mean, I was always um doing it, but it was slow and steady.
Yeah.
I've been probably a yo-yo dieter.
Hmm.
I've never been the weight that I am or was,
Hmm.
not even to the weight I am now before, but I've always been a yo-yo dieter. I've
Yeah.
always tried everything new, gone gung ho at it, got down to my desired weight or 5 kilos from it,
Hmm.
maintained it for a little while, and then, the pounds or the kilos start adding up. This
Yeah.
time, I did. I wanted a lifestyle change. So I've done things differently, gone slowly to it. I've had my setbacks. I went away in November.
Hmm.
We went on a lovely cruise, and when we came back, my husband brought some horrible bug back.
Hmm.
I didn't catch it on the cruise, but he passed it to me.
Yeah.
He was back at work within a day or two, whereas I was sick right through till January, which I ended up getting pneumonia from it and fluid around my heart.
Hmm.
So back to some pretty serious shit, not allowed to move, not allowed to do anything, could have a heart attack at any moment.
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Still waiting to see one of the specialists. So I figured if they're not that concerned about it because I'm on their wait list and they put you wherever they put you in the categories of importance, well, I'm not going to stop my life
Mm.
waiting for them. So I do things slowly. I went down to 103 just before the cruise, and I was looking to making it under the 100 by Christmas.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, while I was sick, I went back up to 105 and just sat there and sat there and sat there.
Yeah.
Sorry, my battery is getting a bit low. That
No
could be a dilemma.
worries. Yeah.
And I think the big change, like I had Anthony that was looking after me for a while.
Yeah.
And, he would tell me not to beat up on myself, things like that, which I used to get angry because I wasn't sort of moving off that 105.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a guest speaker on last time.
Lou.
Lou, sorry, I didn't mean to be disrespectful then. I
That's
do
okay.
have a brain issue.
No
Can't
worries.
remember things. And she's, she does all those things where she checks her food beforehand and puts it in the system. And I was in awe of her, but can't quite do that sort of thing. I'm not perhaps that dedicated, and I was having trouble because I'm insulin dependent. So I'm racing around my house trying to find a plug.
Yeah, no worries.
Being insulin dependent, every time I'd get things right, my sugar levels would crash.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would have to have, I kept like jelly beans next to my bed all my time.
Yeah.
So then you'd have a handful of jelly beans, and because you'd go into a hypo, I would then have to get up and have a sandwich or something substantial. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd try and allow for that to be part of my
Yeah.
calorie count, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're eating at like 2 o'clock in the night because
You got to.
my alarms were going off and crashing.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then it just mucked me up. And I also worked out that part of that was stress related.
Mm.
So, I was trying to use sorry, I just managed to find power and exhausted myself. I was using our fitness app for a while, and then from the 105, I found it stressful trying to keep to the calories, and
Mm-hmm.
the more I stressed, the more my sugars would play up, so they'd go up too high. So then I'd have to give myself more insulin,
Yeah.
and that would have diabolical results. I'd get tired, or I'd then crash and have to have sugars, and it just became a balancing act that just wasn't working. So I stopped using the fitness app for a while, or I have, and I started using the diary,
Mm.
and I just write down what I eat.
Mm-hmm.
By now I've learnt sort of portion sizes and what my calorie meal should look like anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't have something telling me if I was, 100 calories over, or eat because you haven't had enough calories or you haven't had enough protein in the day.
Yeah.
I ate when I was hungry,
Yeah.
and I ate enough to make me feel full. And some days that was hardly anything and it was okay.
Mm.
And other days I ate a little bit more, but I always wrote everything in my diary, how I felt, what my sugar levels were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and held myself accountable that way
Yeah.
rather than in the fitness app that
Yeah.
was stressing me
Mm-hmm.
because it would tell you whether you've met macros or all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and since then which was it was only a couple of weeks ago that I was on the 105. So I've, yeah, now made it to 99.5 kilos.
Good work. That's awesome. That's awesome. And and yeah, just by touching with that, it's like, like probably the calories at first served you and it was serving you well, but then it started not serving you. So then it was time to change systems, and find something that works better for you. And I see that like sometimes, or with even some of my friends, it's like at first they tracked for a long period of time, they understand portion controls and everything like that, and then they switch to intuitive eating, which is what you're doing. You're just in line with your body. You're like, when you're hungry, you eat. When you're not hungry, you don't. You understand portion sizing a lot more. And then yeah, and so it was just the best thing to find something better, and it's writing down your food and listening to your body was the best thing to do. And it shows.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Like I wouldn't have had that intuitive nature if I didn't start with
Hmm.
the My Fitness app.
Yeah.
It certainly, there were things that you would eat that you thought were brilliant. And then when you actually logged it into My Fitness app, you realized that it wasn't necessarily as good. It didn't have as much protein, or it had way more carbs, or, less sugars, whatever.
Hmm.
So without that as the starting base, I wouldn't have gotten where I'm comfortable now to be
Yeah.
able to yeah, do it on my own. Every now and then I still use the fitness app, especially if it's something I haven't eaten.
Yeah.
I'll scan it to see what's in it and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't religiously scan everything in
Yeah.
to it anymore. I just, as I said, I log it in my diary. I make sure I'm honest with myself. I
Yeah.
can now stop at having a block of chocolate if I wish to.
Yeah.
You go to a party and you might want a small piece of cake, same as everybody else, whereas before that you would have taken a large serving.
Hmm.
Now you sort of take a small serving and you can think, well, okay, I've been doing really well.
Hmm.
One small piece isn't going to break it, so long as I'm responsible for the rest of the week. So it's taught me planning as well, not just day to day, but week to week.
Yeah.
And I'm on the road 2.5 to 3 days a week, with CFA, where I go around and I fix people's fire extinguishers and stuff. So sometimes they're long days because I have to get to companies before they go to work so that I can do their fire extinguishers. So I might start at 6:30 in the morning. I've moved to the country and still do that in the city. So it takes me 2.5 hours to get from the country to the city. So I leave when my husband does at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and I rock up and I might get 4 or 5 extinguishers service. So having and doing the food was when I was not eating properly and not doing the right thing. And I think that was when I was sitting at that 105 and just couldn't move off it.
Yeah.
So now everything's sort of moving well. I make sure I got myself a little fridge that I now have in my car,
Hmm.
and I work out what I'm going to need to eat, and I always take a little bit more in case. And as I said, if I'm hungry, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Um, and if I don't, that's okay too. I don't stress over, oh my God, I didn't eat lunch today,
Yeah.
anymore. Whereas it used to be, oh, I've got to eat 3 meals a day. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Whereas I don't anymore.
Hmm.
And my sugars have been far more stable. I'm probably left on about 3 of the 30 medications that I used to be on.
Wow.
I've just been cleared by 2 of my medical teams that they only want to see me once a year now instead of every 2 months.
Yeah.
So It's been a long journey and a slow journey, but it's been a good journey.
Hmm.
I've had you, I've had Anthony, I've had this whole team
Hmm.
of people. I'm not perhaps as active on the page being an Aussie rather than a New Zealander. Half the
Yeah.
time you're posting lunches or and I'm only just waking up for breakfast. So starts pinging off at 4 o'clock in the morning. You guys are eating brekkie, and I'm like, I'm just rolling over for my next siesta. Um, so sometimes posting things from here can be hard because you don't know whether it's still relevant
Yeah,
in the context of the time capsule types thing. But I certainly read everything. If I think I've got something of importance, I'll write something. Um, and yeah, from everybody on this team has been the ones that have made my journey for me and helped me to get where I am. Definitely.
of course, of course. And you have your support team, and you had me and Ants as your coaches, but you're the one who did it. You're the one who took action. So and that's what it takes, because you can have all the support in the world, you can have all the guidance in the world, but if you don't take action, you won't, you're not going to do it. So you've done incredibly well. I'm really proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. I've got a few questions that I was thinking of. That's why I was typing. I wasn't texting, I promise. Um, because I remember that you've through the program, and I think we've been together for like a year and a half, 2 years. Um, and I remember different adversities happening. I remember like that you said you moved house, or you sold your house. That was crazy what you had to go through. Like I've never seen someone, like, it took months, right, for it to all get ready and everything like that. And you had to drive back and forth. And there's a lot going on. And I come from a, like, with my work, I'm very busy, but you were busy, right? And then I remember you had health issues, heart problems, everything like that. And so I guess with everything that's happened and the ups and the downs and everything that happens in life, like how did you keep going? What was the motivation to keep going, or how did you manage to keep going and living this, lifestyle change that you want to? I'm just really interested to see your mindset and how your mind was through all of that.
You're right. It was a very difficult time. We had bought a house up the country, which is where we're living now, which is 2.5 hours away from where we were in Melbourne. Um, I took over the house in ownership when COVID started because I couldn't have any of the injections. I was already on anti-rejection job medication because my body didn't like itself, and at every opportunity it would attack itself. So that was a stressor in itself. And you're told to stay calm because stress activates these things. So I was living here and my husband was living down in Melbourne. We had the 35K restriction, so I could enter Melbourne, but he couldn't leave Melbourne. So I was running the house up here
Yeah.
and he was running it down in Melbourne. And then when we were selling the house, the roles reversed because he managed to get a job up here. And so he was living up in Timboon, and I went back to Werribee to prepare the house and get it ready to be sold while I was also doing CFA and, yeah, running backwards and forwards with trailer loads to here, organising pickup trucks and all sorts of stuff, 20 odd years worth of equipment and 5 sons worth of parts of motor vehicles that have been left there because it's okay, mum, we might need them one day.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of them. And probably the same with clothes. And we moved from a 6 bedroom house, 45 squares, to what is a 4 bedroom house and 20 something squares. So, and pretty much all the stuff went with us. So, including the 5 dogs.
Yeah.
So what kept me calm, and sometimes the dogs would be with me and other times they were up with my husband. So it wasn't like I had all the dogs and he had nothing. It was, everything was everywhere.
Mm.
Our lives were everywhere. We hadn't basically seen each other for over 2 years, other than the odd weekend where he would either come down when he could,
Mm.
or roles were reversed and I'd come up here. And when I was up here, you were mowing lawns because you had 3 acres worth of lawns, and I was still using a push mower. We didn't have a ride on at that stage.
Yeah.
Um, what kept me going? I guess the biggest thing that kept me going is um, one day you and I spoke,
Mhm.
and I was in tears that day.
Remember.
And I told you something I had never, ever told anybody.
Mm.
And sorry,
It's okay. Take your time.
I think the biggest the biggest realization was, if I could get through that and every other bit of things that life has thrown at me, I could lose this weight and
100%.
I could be the person that I want to be, somebody that I could finally be proud of.
Mm.
And that kept me going.
Yeah.
That made me realize that I still had a fight in me. As I said, there were times when I gave up,
Mhm.
and I'm very lucky to be alive. And now, my husband and I are living together. My dogs drive me crazy because some days they'll be the best of friends, laying cuddling, and the next minute they want to rip one another's mouths apart.
That feeling.
My boys were like that too. One day they'd be laying on the couch and they'd all be mates, and the next minute they're fighting. So I guess that's just part of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but with each day of realizing that I have the support that I need,
Mhm.
and um, starting to enjoy life again,
Mhm.
going for 5K walks with my dog, and then coming home and doing another 2Ks with my other dog. And in the one day, within about an hour of each other, has made me realize that there is so much more to my life.
Yes.
You know, I've been, we book a cruise every year.
Mhm.
Didn't think I was going to go on another one after being so sick from the last one. But it's our holiday now. Once a year, we go away on a cruise to see the world.
Yeah.
Um, this year, we're heading off to Singapore and all around there on our cruise.
Nice.
Um, and I want to, as I said, we went away to Port Macquarie a couple of weeks ago, and I managed to walk to the bottom of the waterfall and walk back up. Several years ago, I wouldn't have thought that was possible, and especially not with all the health issues that I've had and carrying the weight that I would have. I probably, if I had tried that, they would have had to brought a medic team in, try and fly me out, to be honest, because I would have had a heart attack climbing the first layer of stairs.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think through everything, the house, the work, doing all the stuff with CFA, the running backwards and forwards, absolutely missing my husband, and yet we send messages every morning, and we still do, because he drives to work at a ridiculous time when the kangaroos are out. So he lets me know he's arrived at work safe.
Yeah.
it's all those little things, reading all of you, what you're doing every day, checking out your meal plans, checking out some of your yummy looking food, wishing I could cook like that. Uh, that's what keeps you going.
Yeah.
That's what has made me stronger.
Mm,
And Jesse a couple of weeks ago was really upset with something that had happened and with somebody that was at her work, and I get it, totally get it. And I realized that you can't always forgive everybody for things that have happened in the past,
mm,
but you have to be able to compartmentalize it and not push it under, because that's what I used to do. I used to just push it away and pretend like it didn't happen.
mm,
Um, it's not something I still talk about with anybody, but I learnt to live with it in a much healthier way than I ever did prior to all of this. And as I said, knowing that I have people that have helped me to achieve this has made the huge difference.
100%. Wow. You're incredible, Jacqui. Far out.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't have made it without the group of people that are here in DDC. So it's not just me. It's, yeah, I've been on the journey, but it's all the people that have been on the journey with me that have made the difference. So, it's a group thing. It really is.
Same. 100%. And you're exactly right. Like if we look in our lives and everything that we've had to overcome, and I'm sure like everyone has to have everyone has their own demons, right? And if we can overcome those demons, then we can definitely lose some weight. And the adversities, and if we can channel it like that, then this whole process becomes a lot easier. um, and then that's the mindset for the mindset shift. Kind of like when I talk about there's like we can be like there's the victim mentality, and we can be the victim, and sometimes we do deserve to be the victim. However, is it serving us to be the victim? And that's when we have to switch into the victor mentality and be like create our own kind of like Rocky story that, you know what, I've been through so much and I'm going to overcome this and I'm going to get up and get back up and I'm going to move forward again. And I'm just going to keep on going until I get to the goals. And that's how it's done. It's like we're so scared of failure from, education or what we're told as kids. But as I said, like throughout all the calls, it's like failure is really important because it's just feedback. And it just everything in life is like this, right? It's like for example, for like the first couple of months of like double digit coaching, I didn't get as much inquiries as that I did for last year. But what I had to reframe was just like, okay, well, if these are my like more quieter months, what did the quieter months look like last year? And there was like there's a huge difference that I was actually doing a lot better. And now things are starting to slowly pick up again. But it's just kind of reframing things in a way that actually helps us not, yeah, kind of exactly what you did and what you said. So it's great. Yeah, control the frame and you can control the game. So it's really cool. Awesome, Jacqui. Anything else that you want to say?
No, I'm just like Muhammad Ali now. I get knocked down, but I get back up again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
gonna keep fighting on, mate.
100%. Have you guys seen do you remember on Rocky 4 when he has that talk with his son? Do you remember that?
No, I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies, to be honest.
Oh, you okay? You definitely watch. You want a really good motivational movie? It's one of my favorite movies, and it's called Rudy. Has anyone seen it?
No.
Guys, watch Rudy. I'll find it somewhere. I'm sure I can actually find it for free. I'll put it in the group, but it's like if Just this guy's amazing. Just never gives up. It's crazy. But I'll put it in the group though. Um, cool. All right. So let's go around. Does anyone want to ask Jacqui a question? I know we covered a lot, but maybe does anyone want to go first? Or anything you'd like to say to Jacqui? Hello.
Yeah, I will.
Go ahead.
Um, Congratulations, you have done such an amazing job. Um, Definitely an inspiration to me, and it definitely will help me on my way. Because I've only been in for 5 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to my journey over the next couple of years to where I can get down to double digits, which will hopefully be soon, but it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as it happens. But just thank you. You're such an inspiration.
Thank you, Karen. And I'm sure that I will see you in the double digits and you'll be the one giving the inspirational talks then.
Thank you.
Oh, awesome. All right. So now I'm gonna start picking on a few people. So let's go, Jesse.
Um, yeah. Oh, there's heaps. They're doing it your way. That's really cool. Stepping away from the MyFitnessPal, I'm not brave enough to do that. My life is ruled by rules and routine.
Yeah.
And without them, I fold.
Mm.
The the dealing with things, and the blame,
Mm.
and being ashamed of the person I am, for not being able to deal with things or get past things. I've found a way to walk away.
Mm.
I'm not letting it go because I know I can't. I'm not that good. But I can walk away.
Mm.
So I really appreciate what you said about that.
I don't think you can ever not be in the moment with what's happened.
Yeah.
But as you said, you've learnt to walk away.
Yeah.
I've learned to, when I have a bad day, I just hang out at the beach and I just watch and listen to the waves, and that's me walking away. That's me dealing with it. So,
yeah.
we all have them, and I don't think it's a matter of you've got to try and forgive and forget, because a lot of it you can't. But
no, but it drives me. Like your experience have driven you and keeps you going. It's my motivation, and that was really
you need
cool.
that, which is good. But you need to be able to put it into a positive spin, which is what you're doing, which is good.
I have cows instead of waves, but
well, I have alpacas as well.
Oh, I'd love one of them.
Same.
Not when they spit.
Or an emu.
Oh.
If you want to send me an emu, I can hide it in amongst the cows, I'm sure.
Oh, no, sorry. Mine are all quite tame, except that my husband, they spit at my husband, so it's quite hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it the alpacas and the emus that spit, or is it just the alpacas?
I don't know anything about an emu, but the
Oh,
alpacas really curl up and put this green snot. My husband said they spat at him, and I laughed and said they're the most friendly, because they come up and have chest pats, like they put their heads here
yeah.
and give them a pat. And then one day he came close to me and I heard it. It was like burling up the biggest loogie you've ever heard. And then it just turned and spat
Oh
this foul green stuff at him. I have to admit, I almost wet my pants. Definitely needed some lady pants that day because I was too busy laughing. It was hysterical. And yeah, every time he comes down there with me, they chase at him and they make smacky lips at me like at me.
They like you.
So I'm one of their herd, well, of his herd.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like my husband or my boys, apparently.
Yeah. Mama's boy, alpacas.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I'm now rethinking about my alpacas because Luca is a mama's boy, and even like it's so bad. I go to hug both of them, and Luca's like, no, push, and pushes me away. I need a girl. Luca
So
can't.
girl dogs and girl alpacas.
Yeah, it's what I need. Yeah, because and I told Luca, well, when we have a girl, you can't come to any of the teacup parties. It's just me and her. Salty. Cool. All right, let's do one more. Let's go Leanne.
So yeah, it's awesome to hear that you've reached the DDC double digits. It's been wonderful to watch your journey and hear your chat, your testimony and chat with the group. One thing that stood out is like, just how you're saying you needed to call a medical team. Just when you think back to when, like, the ones that have been on the journey, like for me today is a year, you look back and think where we were and what we were thinking and how that mindset was back then. But then we've got to think how far we've come and how things have changed in our lives for this lifestyle change. But yeah, that probably would have been me too. Like, I'm not going up those stairs, or I can't do it, or it's just using all the excuses, like we would. But I guess now we can change that. For the better for everyone and for our families and my son and our kids and stuff. But yeah, that, and also what else stood up for me? Just the group, it's definitely having the group, the ladies here that support us and keep us going. That's helped our journeys. Yeah, that stood out for me. That one. What else? I think that's it. But yeah, just give you ups for all the things that you've been through on your journey and listening, because it is tough, and it can be tough in our lives. I've also had similar things like in the background happen, so can relate to that. Also gangrene, when with your leg, my mum's bowel went gangrenous when she was pregnant with me. So they removed her bowel when she was 28 weeks pregnant with me. So she's no bowel because of it. And she doesn't have a bag on either. So her life is constant, revolves around a toilet every day. Yeah. So but yeah, just those things stood out, and I just love hearing everybody share their journey at the end and reach their double digits. And that will be me soon. Everyone else in this group, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, Jacqui. I really appreciate you hopping on and having this talk. And I think this is going to really help a lot of people, and more than you know, Jacqui. And thank you so much for jumping on and sharing this. And I know a lot of people watch the replays as well. And I couldn't be proud of you. And you didn't need weight loss surgery. You did it all. by yourself and just with a bit of guidance and support, boom. That's what I've been telling people for years.
Yeah, I'm really glad because I do love my steak. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to eat that if I'd had the weight loss surgery, that's for sure. I would have had to have itemized it all.
Yeah. By the way, have you tried? I know you love your alpacas, but have you tried alpaca?
No, a few people have
And
spoken to me about it. They're my pets. They have names. Once
Yeah.
you name something, you can't eat
Oh no,
it.
no, no, not them. Like another alpaca.
No, no,
Okay.
sorry, not that brave.
It's pretty. It's like
hey,
really lean, eh, Karen?
I
hey,
wanted
John,
to get a couple
we
of
used to
cows,
breed
but
we used to
can't do
breed
that.
alpacas.
Ah,
And we had a few that we did put in the freezer, and as long as you slow cook them, they are really, really nice.
the ones
But
that
yeah,
fat, the ones that fat.
but yeah, I wouldn't do it all the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, but alpacas are just such a beautiful animal.
they are. Yeah, they're one of my
It's
favorite.
supposed to be an extremely lean meat and very good,
They
but
are.
yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
But
I
no.
didn't do it to my favorites, obviously. So I
Well,
had my
obviously.
favorites, and there's no way I could do it to them.
yeah.
But we had some beautiful babies, and um,
Oh,
and they're so gorgeous and beautiful being born as well. So yeah.
yeah.
No, can't eat them. Thank you, John.
I saw a bargain on Trade Me. It was 5 alpacas for $200. Yeah, I went searching for my alpacas. I thought it was pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah, but my wife said no.
Oh, they keep the grass down. I don't have to go mowing anymore.
Yeah, we don't have much grass, so that's why she said no.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I had to give away the bunny rabbit, even though it was my pet. I'm still very hurt about it, because our dog they were friends at first, and then
Yeah, no, they don't stay friends forever. They become dinner after a while. So
Yeah.
yeah, best choice that you made.
yeah, and then Slippers had to enter the matrix and avoid Finn's like teeth, and then we had to give them away. Uh, all right, team. Thank you so much, and thanks again, Jacqui. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch up with you all really soon.
Night.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody on DDC.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.